Okay, ji. We discuss these topics, time series topics, in a brief manner. Basically, they are just table of contents. We are moving ahead to learn every single concept. So move ahead. This is course outline, chapter outline, topic outline. So it was just an introduction. I started teaching from there. That is why you get a little overburdened. Anyway, so another one is associative forecasting method, regression and correlation analysis. You might have heard about the regression. Any idea about regression analysis? Regression analysis? No idea. So regression is the analysis through which we go with the prediction. We make prediction. For example, if I take the data from you guys and through regression I can predict at what will be the outcome. If your outcome is this, what will be the outcome of all of the rest of the students of Accra University? So regression is the prediction through the sample. Through the sample, we collect the data and take out the outcome, and through that outcome, we predict the target population outcome. For example, Accra University is my target population, and you are my sample. You are my sample. I take the data from you, for example, age, height, GPA, etc. So after taking that data, I can regress and make an equation that what will be the outcome of the total Accra University students. Get it? So this is the concept of regression. In a very easy manner, I just mentioned you. Miss, please come ahead. Over here. Front two seats. Please remove this bag. Okay. Correlation analysis. What is correlation analysis? Correlational analysis is the one in which you take out the relation. For example, what is the relationship of the quality lecture? What is the relationship of the quality lecture and student learning? What is the relationship between the quality lecture and the student learning? So this is the example of correlation. Correlation. What is the correlation? From one thing to another. Another example of correlation: learning, studying in a group and the marks, subject marks. So when you learn in a group, so what is its impact on the marks of yours? If you learn in the group, you perform well or not. This is another correlation. You give me another example of correlation. Any idea of correlation? I just gave you example of two examples I gave you. One is the correlation between the lecture quality and the student learning. If the lecture quality is good, the student learning will be better. Yes.
Productivity is relationship with working from home and while working in office.
Yes, very good. If someone is working at office, what is its productivity? So this is also an example of correlation. So this is through the regression and correlation, we take out the forecasting. We forecast through the correlation and the regression. This is called associative forecasting. Write it down. This is called very important. Associative forecasting. This is called associative forecasting. Okay, move ahead. Do you want to write something?
Yes, sir.
Okay. क्या नाम है? What's your name? Come here. Come here. You are sitting at the corner. Come here. Come at the front. Okay. So we just discussed about the associative forecasting. In that regression analysis for forecasting, standard error, there is an error. Obviously, whenever we estimate, whenever we forecast, whenever we predict, there is an error. So standard error is the error between the population and the sample. I just give you example. If I take the data from you guys and regress it for the whole Accra University population, so that means there may be some kind of error. Obviously, you are a sample. You are not a total population. So there is an error. Always an error. Error is what? Actual minus forecast. Actual forecast. This is called error. Whenever we talk about error, this formula must always come in your mind. Actual minus forecast. जी?
Sir, एक और regards to correlation. क्या correlation analysis हम contrasting studies to do बेसिस?
Yes. Obviously, the word contrasting comes with the correlation analysis. When we say that there is a indirect relationship between waking up late at night and performing in the exam. So this is the contrasting relationship. It's an indirect relationship. Whenever you wake up late, your performance in the exam at morning is not at par. It declines. As you wake up long, it declines more. Okay. So actual minus forecast. This you always remember. Correlation coefficient for regression lines. What is correlation coefficient? This is an interesting concept. What is that? It is like this. AX. AX is what? A is the coefficient. What does that mean? It means the change in the X will be as per the value of A. Do you remember the equation AX plus B? Any ideas? It's a straight line equation. So you see, so A is the coefficient. A is the coefficient. So as strong the coefficient is, as change in the X. You see y equals to, write it down everyone. Y equals to AX plus B. Y equals to? So in that you say A is 2. So 2x and plus B. So you see change in X will be twice. Change in Y will be twice when there is a change in X. For example, X equals to 1. What is the value of Y? If you assume this, there is nothing over here. If the value of X is 1, 2. Okay? So what does that mean? X is 1 and Y is 2 because of this coefficient. Because of the, so that is what they are trying to say, correlation coefficient. That is why it is called coefficient. It is not clear? Okay. Again, y equals to ax. Do you understand that? Okay. When we say a is a coefficient. A is a coefficient. Here is the value of coefficient. So we say a equals to 2. A equals to? Okay. When a equals to 2, what does that mean? It means the change in y will be twice whatever the value of x would be. For example, value of x is 1. Y would be simple. So what I am trying to say is the correlation coefficient basically tells you about the regression line. What is the regression line? What is the change in the regression line? For example, the line is like this, the line is like that, the line is like that. So correlation coefficient is very, very important. What is the relationship between the variable? So the relationship between the variable is this. Okay, change in y is twice. For example, quality of a product. If we say x is the quality of the product, when the quality of the product, x is the quality of the product, quality of the product, y is sales, y is, so we say when the quality of product would be improved, then how much the sales would be? Double. Very good. This is my point. This is what that means. Correlation coefficient for regression lines. That's how we learn. So I am just briefing you the concept. These concepts are not very much important for exam, since I will not be assessing you on the regression and these associative forecasting. But still I am just developing these concepts. These are very, very important concepts. Correlation, regression, and correlation coefficient, they are very important. when we say multiple regression, we mean what? We mean quality of product, packaging of product, or quantity of product. So you see, there are multiple variables I have taken, and all are impacting what? That is called multiple regression. Very easy. That is called. So I am just concluding this point, that when we say simple linear regression, it means there is only one variable. There is only one variable. Could be the quality, the packaging, etc. Okay. When we say multiple regression, it means multiple variables are impacting on the single variable, that is sales. So we are saying the quality of the product, the packaging of the product, the quantity of the product is impacting on sales. So multiple regression means multiple factors are included. Clear? Is it clear now? Yes. If anyone is not clear, tell me. I just made a brief concept of this. I have not given you a detail. I have not made you complete the numerical. ठीक है, about it. I just made you a concept of regression, correlation, coefficient, and multiple regression. ठीक है? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
If it is not clear, then ask me. आपका नाम? मुहिब साहब. Is it clear? नहीं clear है तो पूछें. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, जी, monitoring and controlling. Monitoring and control is what? When you need to monitor the forecast. Always monitor the forecast. Okay, what happened? You see, I am keep giving you energy examples since it's a very hot topic. Okay, what happened? We all are suffering. The government can monitor and control the forecast, but they didn't. They need to monitor with the short-term contract for 2 years, 1 year's contract, and they need to monitor whether the growth or the demand of the energy is increasing or not. If it is not increasing, they should not continue their contract with the IPPs, with the suppliers. They should not extend the contract. But it did not happen. They made a contract for 10 years on the supposition that the demand would be increasing. So there is a loss. So monitoring and controlling is very important. You need to keep monitor whether your forecast method, whether your forecast result are as per the actual, as close to the actual or not. If they are making a huge error, there is a huge difference between actual and the forecast, then you have to change the method immediately, quickly. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. You will have a loss of customers. Okay, you will have a great loss. So it's very important. Okay, move ahead. Yes. For customers, you are talking about for us. For us, there is no such option. But still, we are in the pain. We are having a very huge sum of a bill, so it's very troublesome for us to pay the bills, and the reason is forecasting only. They did error, the huge error in forecasting, and that huge error incurs in a great loss, and that loss we are paying. So there is someone's error which we are paying. So this is something, and we don't have much choice. We have an option only. What the law of a country allows you is to make your own electricity and for yourself only. You cannot sell electricity to a single person. Even your brother lives next to your house, you cannot sell or you cannot give to. If it is given, then it is against the law. So in this situation, you can only produce electricity for yourself. And if your income is such, then you go for the sunlight system. Sunlight energy is the best energy. So go with the solar system. And if you can afford. If you cannot afford, then bear with this pain. जी. नहीं, एक्चुअली ये पाकिस्तान में ही है. पाकिस्तान में ही है और द रीज़न इज़ there are few investors which are interested in Pakistan. Because of that, these trouble are coming. We cannot 100% blame the forecasters or the ministers, because there are less investors, and the investor were not interested in the IPPs, in the investment in the production of the electricity and in the distribution of electricity. For example, if you go to the international market and ask if anyone would like to buy the KE system, distribution system, you would not find anyone interested. So this is when you have less competition, when you have less option, then you are stuck with the one, and that is bad for everyone, unfortunately. And why investors are not coming? There are multiple reasons, multiple factors, multiple regression would be applied. So it is not a simple linear regression. Yes. किसके पास? हमारे पास? Yes. Possible नहीं. This is not possible. At least you require at least 100 or 1000 rupees excess with you all the time. In this time of inflation, people do not have the spare amount. People have the amount to, yes, for bread and butter. Okay, let's move ahead. It's a long discussion and it is not leading us anywhere. Okay. When we complete this chapter, what we understand, the 3 time horizons, very important point. Understand the 3 time horizons, that is the short term, medium term, long term. Short term, medium term, long term. So, and which model apply for each use. For short term, which model should you use? For medium term, which model should you use? Or for long term, which model should you use? When we say short term, we mean daily and monthly. When you use long term, it is yearly. When you use medium term, it is quarter to yearly. And when we talk about the long term, it is in years. Okay, explain when to use each of the 4 qualitative models. This is one of the learning objectives. Qualitative models are very, very important. You cannot forego the qualitative models. As I told you, when there is no data, the qualitative models are very important. The qualitative models are very important. When we have a time series data, the data of a previous months, previous years, previous quarters, then we can go for the time series data. Otherwise, the qualitative method is perfect. It's the option for us. Apply the knife, moving average, exponential smoothing and trend method. Aage. Compute 3 measures of forecast accuracy. That is the finding of error: mean absolute error, mean absolute deviation, and mean absolute percent error. So inshallah we will learn how to. It's very easy, but we will learn that. Seasonal indexes, this I will not give in your exam. And regression, correlation, and this will not come in your exam. Okay, I have just I would make your basic concepts well, so that you are able to understand the forecasting well. We are not going in an advanced topics. Okay, we will be restricted to the basic topics. Okay, next. When back kare back. Done. Yeah, आगे चलो. Okay, Disney. Now the chapter starts actually. Out of habit, I started giving lecture from the outline, because I remember alhamdulillah, most of the book. So I started giving lecture actually. Anyway, so Disney World, you see, if you see Disney World, so they are in multiple countries in the world. I recommend you to go once in life, if you have a chance. Whenever you have a chance, for example, you go to the Tokyo, Hong Kong, America, Japan, France, then once go there. It's a lifetime experience. There will be a large sum of money for you to spend, but still I recommend you to go, because it's a lifetime experience. Anyway, ticket, thousands of dollars, $1,000 once you have to enter entry ticket. And they have their own hotel and restaurants as well. You spend their time over there. No, I have never been there. Because I think it's what I learned from the literature, that it's a very lifetime experience if someone go. I have no intention, but I recommend you. Orlando, it's America, US, California, I guess, in California. Where? In US. It's in US. It's in US. Okay, ji. Revenues are derived from people. How many visitors are coming? Daily management report contains only the forecast and actual attendance at each bar. आगे next. ये मैं I already mentioned it before. अच्छा ये interesting है देखें. One company take out the different time horizon forecast, and it is very very important because you cannot take a strategic decision on the basis of the daily forecast, not even the weekly forecast, not by the monthly forecast, not even by the quarterly forecast. You require the yearly forecast. So you see 5-year forecast. It has more. Is it has more error, or does it have more error? Shabash, very good, excellent. So this is what we know, but still we require this so that we can plan. Forecast used by labor management, I told you, maintenance, operations. Azan, let's take Azan break. Azan break. अच्छा जी, तो forecast used by labor management, maintenance is very important, and we talk about the before time maintenance. We talk about the before problem comes maintenance. That is very very important. You cannot wait for the things to be broken, break down. You need to prior maintain it. This is very very important. That incurs less cost. And secondly, if anything which has completed its time and in your books it is wiped off, okay, it is depreciated, then you have to buy the new one. It is highly recommended, because as the product get old, it has more maintenance cost than the previous months and previous years. So the operational cost of your company, of your Disney World or any other place would be more if you keep working with the old gadgets, products, so machinery. So this is very important. Maintenance, operations. So operations and maintenance, finance and park scheduling. Everything would be aligned with the forecasting. So you see how forecasting is important. Every department, that is finance, operations, maintenance, labor management, that is HR. So every department is related with the forecasting results you have. Forecast used to adjust opening times, rides, shows, staffing levels and guests admitted. So everything is changed, everything is manipulated, everything is controlled, monitored with this forecasting. Next. Labor management, I told you before that when there is a high number of people expected, you hire the higher number of labor on the daily wages. Okay? That is the contractual labor. So that's how you manage the labor. Okay? Anything else? The next. Taimur sir. Okay, this is very important in the associative forecasting. When you want to, in the associative forecasting, what we do? We incorporate many variables. For example, if any product is very expensive, so what we do? We get in multiple factors. For example, the GDP of a country, okay, the spending of their per capita spending, ठीक है, per capita spending, and the sales of a product. So you see multiple factors you take. 20% of the customer come from outside the USA. So you can put in that 20% in one of the factors in the associative forecasting, because you need to see that how many people are coming. For example, in Pakistan, last year USA gave the highest number of visa to the foreigners. So if the foreigners are coming in a great number, so there is a chance that they are coming to the Disney World. Might be their teacher recommended. It's a lifetime experience, must go. Economic model includes, I was talking about the different factors: gross domestic product, cross exchange rate, and arrival in the US. So you see there are three factors. Three factors कौन से? Domestic GDP, cross exchange rate, what is the exchange rate, what is the currency power, and the arrival into the US, how many people are coming into the US. And you see the most important point in this case is 35 analysts. They have hired the 35 analysts who take the feedback from the data, from the customers. And 70 field people. 70 field people survey million of people. This is the first time, yes, this is my first time experience. Please fill out this feedback form. And they get the feedback. And they analyze. You might have not seen this kind of thing. Especially in the entertainment industry or service industry, it's very difficult to manage your quality. But they are managing their quality. And they have the analysts as well, they have the data collectors as well. Next. And you read it out yourself. You see 5% average forecast error for the 5 year. So the maximum forecast error must not be more than 5%. What we have learned, very important point for your exam. For 5 year forecast, maximum 5% forecast error. For the 5 year forecast, maximum error is 5%. So what does it mean? It means the less than 5 year, all forecasts must not have more than 5% of error. Very important point. And when we say average forecast error for annual forecast, so an annual 0 to 3%, 5% annual 0 to 3%. This is a very important point. That when we talk उल्टा हो रहा है, उल्टा हो रहा है. हाँ, बढ़ रहा है ना. As time increases, error is increasing. As time increases, error is increasing. Na 5% means more error. 3% means less. Yes, I know. In 5 years there are more 4 years. What I am trying to say, listen to me. I am saying when we take out the forecast of 5 years, it has 5% of forecast error. When we go for the less number of years, that is 1 year, so we have 3% maximum. So what does that mean? It means that when you have a shorter period of time, so you have less forecast error. For example, 6 months forecast, so that would not be 0 to 1. That would not be more than 0 to 1%. For 6 months, the forecast error will not be more than 0 to 1%. So that's how it goes. When we talk about the daily, so that will not be 0.1% daily forecast error. So you see the error is keep coming down. Next. Is it clear to you? Okay. Okay. Write it down. This is the definition. Yes. Why are you guys pretty late today? Why late? You should not be late in the class. Very bad. Very bad. Because of his name. यही बात कर रहा हूँ. अच्छा, okay. What is forecasting? Process of predicting a future event. When we predict the future event, what does that mean? It means you talk about what is possible in the future in terms of production, inventory, personnel, that is the HR, the labor, and the facilities. What do we mean by facility? Anyone? What do we mean by facility?
A company where things are manufactured.
Very good, excellent. The offices, the production facility, The warehousing facility, this is all facility. Yes. Image ये बता रहा है कि you go to the people like this to know about the future, but actually forecasting tells you about the future. तो क्या बोलते हैं इसको, खास एक वर्ड है, फॉर्चून टेलर. फॉर्चून टेलर, हाँ फॉर्चून टेलर. नेक्स्ट. I don't believe. It's against our belief, because we believe that no one knows about tomorrow, and if anyone say that I know, he is a non-believer. Get away. No, we are forecasting with a belief that there is an error. Yeah, we believe that. We never say. Yes? No, we say ourselves the error is inevitable. Error will be coming. Yes.
सर हम forecast करते हैं based on the previous facts and the stats. ये जो fortune teller है, वो कह रहे हैं कि हाँ ये होना है.
बिल्कुल, मैं भी यही कह रहा हूँ. फैक्ट भी हैं और ये कहते हैं ऐसा ही होगा, ये एरर की बात नहीं करते. ओके, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्लाइड, very important slide. It is important for your quizzes especially. Short range up to 1 year, medium range 3 to 3 years, 3 months to 3 years, long range 3+ years. Short range forecast up to 1 year, generally less than 3 months. And what jobs, what process we go for that? Purchasing is requires a short range forecast. Job scheduling requires a short range. Workforce levels means who will be working how long, that is called the workforce levels. Job assignment is who will be performing what assignment, that is the short range forecast. Production levels is a short range. For example, the question can come in your exam that what are the examples, what are the business example for the short range forecast. So you will be telling about the purchasing, job scheduling, workforce level, job assignment, and production levels. Production level is what? That how many units will be produced tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whatever it is. So you make a level. Medium range forecast is sales and production planning. Sales and production plan. Why it is a medium range? Any idea? Why the production and sales are the medium range forecast? Any idea? Very important question.
So because they will change according to the season.
Yeah.
चांसेस ऑफ एरर के होंगे वो मिनिमम ही होंगे एज कंपेयर्ड
नहीं, मिनिमम तो इधर होंगे.
नहीं वैसे अगर देखा जाए सर एज कंपेयर्ड टू लॉन्ग रेंज तो
हाँ, long. नहीं, why? Any other idea? Good.
शुरू की सेल्स का अंदाजा लगा के हम आगे की बजट सेट करके आगे की भी प्रोडक्शन.
अच्छा देखें, there can be multiple answers, but the important points, factors we need to understand. That for production we require a raw material. For production we require a components, raw materials. So we cannot give a short time to our suppliers, because if we give a short time, they will increase the prices and our cost will be increased. Secondly, when we plan the long term, you require the capacity as well. When you do not have the capacity, you cannot produce. So for capacity planning, you require at least medium range forecasting, at least. Because if you cannot produce, then you can outsource. How could you know? You cannot outsource. Bhai, kal se, from tomorrow you have to produce for us. You cannot say. It is a long process. Because when you outsource your product to anyone, it is a very strategic decision and it requires a lot of scrutiny. So what does that mean? It means you need to know what will be the production what would be the production in the upcoming time. Upcoming time production is very, very important. That is why. Or sales and production are interlinked. Without sales, you cannot plan your production. That is why it is called sales and operation planning. It is called sales and, remember always, it is called sales and operation. That is also called aggregate planning. So aggregate planning is not possible without knowing the sales. Because what would you plan? If you do not know the demand, how would you plan the supply? Can you plan? No, you cannot plan the supply if you do not have any idea, if you have no idea about the demand. So demand is primarily important to plan any supply. The supply is production, demand is sales. Got it? Three months to 3 years means 1 quarter. It could be 1 quarter, it could be 2 quarters, it could be 3 quarters, 4 quarters, or a year. Yes. जी हाँ 3 months. 3 months का. Yes. आप बताएं. 12 क्वार्टर होंगे. 3 months का होता है भाई. 3 months का होता है. 3 months का होता है बेटा. अच्छा ओके. ज़्यादा पढ़ लिया मैंने. ओके जी. द क्लास इज अबाउट टू स्टार्ट. भाई लास्ट मिनट जो है ना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. तो एंडिंग ऑफ एनी मूवी इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके. all well if it ends well. So let me end well. Long range forecast 3+ years. New product planning. Ab you see, we are very weak as a industry. We are very weak in the long range forecasting. You see, new product planning, we have a very little and no planning of new product. Why? Because we do not go for the long range forecasting. Facility location is very important. Why? Because if you would require more capacity, so you need to have the facility, and the facility is a strategic decision. Why? Because it is a millions of rupees or dollars investment. So you require to deliberate it, because you cannot change the capacity like a Pink Panther. You take out the air out of it and you take it anywhere, like a briefcase, and go anywhere. No, this is not possible. When you are having a facility, then it means you have spent. For example, this is a facility of our university. So you imagine how much they have spent on this facility. So it's a strategic decision. Research and development is also very important. Research and development is also very important. And research and development, we are also weak in this. That is why we have less number of products and we have less number of customers. Our revenues are less because we have no long range forecasting. Ab you see, team is in the market. Team is in the market. And who owns the team? You see, Pepsi is already there, but they have launched the team again. Why? You see, new product. They launch a new product. Again, because they know that their revenue would be increased with that. बिल्कुल सही. Next. अच्छा, any question so far? Any question? यस, डन. आगे चलें. Okay. Shh. One of the students asked me about the product life cycle. You remember product life cycle? So you see influence of product life cycle. So here we will learn the influence of product life cycle. Introduction and growth require longer forecast than maturity and decline. So introduction, you see every product life cycle, it starts with introduction. First you introduce a product and then it grows. So what it is written over here, that in the introduction and growth stage you require a better forecasting, because if your forecasting is weak, then you will have a great loss. In the beginning you would out of the market if you do not introduce your product timely and in a required quantity. And in the growth stage, if you do not make the product available in an abundant manner, then the customer will be switching from your product, because they require, the demand is there, but if the product is not there, they will be switching. So it is very important to manage your forecast in the introduction and the growth stage. As product passes through life cycle, forecasts are useful in projecting staffing level, inventory level and capacity. आगे चलें. हाँ, बढ़ चुके हैं, but still it is important to know that there is a, you see over here you require better forecast. Shh. You see in the Apple, at the time when the Apple launched their mobile, they have not produced multiple mobiles, they produce a limited quantity, and they were saying you have to book so that we can produce your piece timely. So what happens, they need to forecast very well, because the technology product is very expensive. They cannot produce beforehand, before the demand is there. So they are producing on the demand. When there is a demand and the people demand the product, only then they produce. So this is something very, very critical. If they produce more than required, there will be less demand. So they try to create the hype that there is a limited product and you have to book it, and people like Xbox or the Sony products, you have to book priorly and then they make you wait for some time and then they make it available. That is how they control their forecast. Otherwise their resources will be waste. Very important. So you see over here, next. We have already discussed it before. The most important point, you increase capacity. Over here you see, over here you see, you increase capacity. Okay. Frequent product of, okay, frequent product and increase capacity. Over here you see long production, reduce capacity. Up you see your demand is keep fluctuating, and accordingly you have to maintain it. Like you have to increase your capacity with the growth. You have to have the long production run. You have to made in a great number, and over here you reduce your capacity since the product is not in demand anymore. So you reduce the capacity over here. Any questions so far? Are you coming tomorrow? क्यों?